Hi everybody, welcome to Materia D&D, where we play D&D our way. Sorry for those that are live, we started a little late today, but we're picking up on session 180 of the Crass Menagerie's story, English, and yeah, we're picking up in the evening after Allegretto and Davis and the rest of the Crass Menagerie were regaling the diplomats from the Cerulean Kingdoms about their adventures in Carver, uh, giving them details of just the various obstacles that they had to overcome, the various realms that they traveled. Uh, the reenacting was disrupted by the bestest Loon Loon, who was the bestest girl, just sitting in the woods waiting for her cue to come out and be part of the story. Uh, Lulu broke from the tree line and was chasing something small, something difficult to see, and eventually caught it, and then brought it over to Al. But then the thing got away, and it turned out that this little guy thing, had buddies, and these little tiny creatures uh, proved to run amok and kind of cause some havoc. Davis, seeing them as potentially a threat, after it somehow interacted with uh, Loon Loon, who was benefiting from Ben's haste spell, gave it a big smack, trying to subdue or incapacitate the thing. Uh, but little did you know that was going to cause a violent, chaotic chain reaction, which caused this little thing to blow up. And then all of its little friends began to interact and do the same. Some of them were attracted to the hero's feast that Ben had prepared. Others were attracted to other members of the group, and quickly the Cerulean honor guard made rank, protected the diplomats. However, due to the explosions, Berenia and Kendra were both knocked unconscious. Though, with some moments of chaos and some fleeting uh, scares, the Crest Menagerie did ultimately prevail and were able to dispatch of most of these what were dubbed mad shits. Um, but as a kind of a result to the commotion and the explosions going off, the Cerulean steeds began to book it, breaking their ties and running for their lives, essentially, stampeding down the Mason Fair byway away. However, for those of you who are not familiar with my party, um, movement is not an issue ever. Um, a rehasted Loon Loon with Allegretto on her back, going, was it 480 or something a turn, easily caught up. Karos, who is a Psy warrior that can go up very fast, like 200 or so in a round, very
Gotta
quickly
go
caught up.
fast.
Gotta go fast. Hey, the Green Hill references continue. Um, but anyways, the Crass Menagerie were what could have been a pretty difficult situation. Were able to catch up to Cerulean steeds that had an 80 base speed and were able to rein them in, bring them back, um, through a combination of animal handling, magic, strength, uh, and just uh, and scaring them thanks to some Leonin roars. Uh, but that being said, all the steeds were regathered and set up for the evening. Kendra and Berenia were put in their two carriages to rest for the evening. Watches were established. Uh, the reenactment has been probably canceled for the evening. Uh, Rock managed to gather some of the remains, which were like a dusty substance, from a number of the mad shits that the Crass Menagerie dealt with. And Cielo slipped into Kendrick's carriage, where she is resting and recovering. And we're basically picking up at any point during the night watch that my players would like to do, and I'll just try to move things on the map so it looks a little bit more organized. It's up to you guys.
I mean, at some point, I definitely would say, hey, Al, we should tell everybody else what you noticed.
Fair, yeah. Just want to get your second opinion
I
on
mean,
that.
just our guys for now, right? Like, we don't need to alarm everyone.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to cause more panic than what's already been seen. Okay, I'll sneak the message around.
Thanks.
Hey Ben, we're fucked.
What do you mean we are? What do
No.
you?
What means fucked?
Yeah, exactly.
You mean copulate?
Not this time. No.
It's funny that he would know the
This
word
time, wait.
copulate.
Not this time. Oh yeah, because I deleted a raven. There was 10 ravens, and only
Yeah.
3 survived.
Yeah.
That was how much chaos was going on.
It's a very, very deadly 6 seconds. I was like, I'll just fly over it. Never mind.
Yeah, that's
Pop, pop, pop,
fair.
pop,
It
pop,
was
pop, pop, pop.
that was a I for context. Yeah, that was 6 seconds. There was like 3 massive explosions.
Oh my, that would have been so noisy.
Oh god, yeah, yeah. My brain actually forgot about how much time that was. Oof.
It's a war zone.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
All right. So those guys will be up there guarding. Those guys will be there guarding. Luke and yeah, that's okay, well spread out. Okay. So the night will continue to progress. Everyone is well fed, thankfully, thanks to the hero's feast. The partial clouds that were kind of going on for the last few days that kind of trickled down and provided some rain uh, begin to kind of gather more heavily in the evening. Around 3 o'clock or so, whoever would be on watch would notice that much of the starlight and the moons are now obfuscated, or if not completely blocked, as clouds have kind of rolled in for the evening, just sitting above. You hear the slight like rumor of thunder, but it's not raining. Uh, you can see every once in a while a little bit of lightning in the sky, but doesn't seem to be coming down yet. Uh, but there definitely was a shift as the winds are blowing more heavily. Some of the trees, again, on this map, remember the tree lines are a lot further away from the Mason Fair than they are, but you can actually see some of the trees beginning to kind of sway and kind of you hear the rustling of the wind through the leaves and all that. Uh, but yeah, some of the guards are taking their shifts mixed with you guys. The steeds are used to this type of evenings. They kind of just get closer to some of the carriages. Some of the guards, one of the individuals that is kind of seemingly more responsible for taking care of them, as well as Leo, will be out and kind of taking care of our wonderful little steeds and kind of covering them up, making sure that they have appropriate covers for the evening. Kind of like when you kind of think of like barding, because these creatures can't be necessarily put up in like a stable for the night. They did bring some um, appropriate like almost like covers, if you will, for them so that they could be a little bit more comfortable. And if it does rain, they can stay semi-dry. But yeah, if anyone has any interactions that they wish to do in the evening, let me know. Otherwise, the only one that I have in my mind is Cielo with Kendra. But if Donnie wants to take over that, he can, or I can uh, do that part because that was something I set up at the end of the session last time.
I mean, other than me and Al probably going around telling everybody, like, yeah, we need to circle up at some point, talk about, and where the fuck is Cielo? To talk about what Al saw.
Gotcha. Um, is that something you would like to push for the evening, or
I
is
mean,
it
we gotta
something
wait
you'd
until
like?
Cielo's available, so, so we might as well do that first.
Sure. Okay. All right. So, swinging to that, Donnie, it's up to you. You can roleplay it how you wish, or I can go with kind of the line I had in my mind at the end of last session. I don't know if you were able to catch it. I had that while you were on watch, or sorry, while you were done with one of your watches, rather than going to go rest in a tree or something that you would typically do, you snuck your way into Miss Kendra Keiko's carriage,
Again.
who was one of the two that was injured.
Was this the same one?
With the scroll case or whatever, yeah, with the thing that you stole from her. So
It's the same one. Okay.
yep.
So I'm sneaking back into it.
Yeah, so it's it's in the middle of the night. You are kind of doing your own watch, like you do you. The menagerie knows to trust you on night watches.
Yeah.
But you find a time that there seems to be enough guards out that and Grok has kind of fallen asleep. So you find it very easy to just kind of slip into Miss Kendra's carriage, and she's had her wounds attended to. She's recovering from being just in the brunt of one of the blasts. Yeah,
So here's what I'm gonna do. There's a bit of cloud cover starting right now.
yeah.
I don't have like any mirrors on me specifically in my pack, but
Something
theater
you
of
might
the
have.
mind, I'm
Sure.
going to like think I do.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You
um
can go ahead for the sake of it. Go ahead and add you can have a couple, couple hand mirrors if you wish, because you are
yeah,
that type of character.
right. I'm roguish type. I'm gonna have a hand
Yeah.
mirror. I'm from just like outside of the tent, I'm gonna like peek in, see that she's like recovering, type sleeping, like, oh, she's out cold. I'm gonna check and see if she is.
Okay. That is the wrong music. Though that is a really good soundtrack. Where is my night track? So go ahead and give me a perception check as you're kind of sneaking in, or one stealth to see how well you get in. And then another one would be,
The foregone conclusion is like, you're fine. Just like, how fine?
Yeah.
well, you never know.
Well, the hand mirror is important for something.
Understood. And you can tell me if no, you don't need to roll a stealth, or no, you don't want to do a perception. But if you do feel you need them, go ahead and roll them for me real quick.
Yeah. Forget to open my every.
You're good.
I am a reliable talent.
Yeah. 25 stealth. Got it.
Yep.
And then perception, you said? Or if
Oh,
you
I
need to do
forgot.
it. Yeah. I don't like this
Oh,
music either. Nice. Okay.
it is definitely nighttime.
Yeah, it is definitely nighttime. The clouds are done. So easy enough that the perception tells you that, yeah, Grok, while he is the most loyal of guys, he has nodded off. And something that you noticed because you were kind of keeping an eye on the crew, there were other evenings where it seemed like Grok didn't really go to sleep, like he stayed up. Um, Go ahead and roll me a history check real quick, Cielo, if you will.
Sure.
Just see if you've run into someone like him before. Just needs to be a 10. Yeah, 10. Okay, so a 12. So Grok is an ogre. Uh, they are notoriously tireless. So something that he can go like 3 days without sleep, usually. With without suffering any ill consequences. Just one of his species features. It just happened to be that today was one of those days where he started to catch up onto him, and he did actually fall asleep while he was on guard. So easy enough to slip by. You do not have to with a natural 20, 32. He will not become an issue unless if you make a lot of noise, which is something you will probably not do. Um, the other thing that you notice is, yeah, Kendra is propped up in her, in the carriage. There is a place for her to rest. She is bandaged and she is taken care of thanks to the wounds. She looks like she's hurt, but she doesn't look um, like she's in any danger really. She just needs time to recover. Ofuma and Rock were able to get to them quickly, and I actually think Al were able to get to them quickly, and they'll be okay. They just need time to recover. They're not adventurers. They're not used to taking such hits.
Yeah,
So,
that's good.
yeah.
So from like players to like you, and just like you personally and stuff like that. What was this? I had 0 time this,
Yeah, that's
but
fine. So I can tell you,
what was the purpose of this? Was this like just
I
a
will
welfare
message
check,
you. Yeah, no, I will message it to you. So here, I will
or
come.
was I like specifically looking for something?
Oh, I just had an idea, and I will drop you down. Davis, you don't need to come down because I'm just gonna let
That's fine.
Donnie know what my idea was. So give me 1 second. Oh
Because
yeah,
I
perfect.
have an idea in my head.
See, that's where you're.
Aw.
That's the first mistake. Don't have ideas in your head.
Oh, they're gonna double up. They're plotting together, taking down an empire.
Welcome back.
Thank you. All right. So yeah. So she is like you said. You kind of with the natural 20. She's asleep. Uh, she's cropped up. Her carriage is pretty much in the same condition as it was when you initially infiltrated it. So yeah, however you want to do, whatever you want to do, let me know. Find good music.
Where have I usually slept thus far? I forgot. Like our
Uh,
own cabins, our own carriage, right?
no, so like you guys have been kind of taking shifts and guarding. I've kind
Yeah,
of left
that.
it up to theater of the mind. Like I kind of imagine like Cielo either like sleeping in a tree nearby or on top of a
Yeah.
carriage, or Al could make a hut, Rock could make a Gideon's tower. It's like however you want to do it. We've been kind of playing loose with that. So whatever you like.
Um. First off, I would take the hand mirror and like if
Okay.
there's the cloud cover is probably still setting it. If there's
Mm-hmm.
any like direct moonlight, I would try to like direct that
Sure.
inside the the carriage.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, with the natural 20, I'll
direction.
say you're able to see that there is enough light and you're able to kind of position yourself freely and silently throughout the carriage to do what you'd like to do. So go for it.
Yeah, but I would like to try to like see if the moonlight affects anything in the room.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Give me what is it called? A investigation check to see if anything does actually get your whiskers to twitch. $23. So, as you're kind of like using the mirror to kind of, essentially, I guess, kind of, how do you want to do it? Like when you see those movies where they had to line up the beam of light onto the crystal to open the door, you're kind of trying to get a light source in here. Uh, the one thing that you do see that interacts with it is there is a um, within her little carriage, there is a working desk. There's like a little desk for her to work in, and she has a little glass box, and it's on the top uh, of the carriage. And in there, there's a set of, I don't know, there's like something silver, and it does kind of just begin to kind of sparkle and glow, and like more than you would expect. And if you are to approach it, let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you kind of approach it cautiously, you kind of keep an eye on Kendra, who's essentially resting like next to this place because it's a carriage. There's only so much room, so it's like desk, a little open space, and then bed or resting area. She kind of sniffs in a little bit, but you can see she's very well and out. It's just a beautiful pair of what you would think are like platinum earrings or something. And you've
Hmm.
seen her; she tends to wear you know accoutrement and decor in her flowing hair, and she wears jewelries, often, pearls and shells and stuff. But these are beautiful, beautiful, uh, some sort of like platinum or silver. They kind of spiral amongst themselves. Like it's an earring, but it's like two or three prongs of metal that kind of spiral into like a twisting teardrop kind of design. If you want to, you can give me an Arcana check because you're next to them. 22. Yeah, so there is a basic kind of enchantment put on them. They interact with moonlight. Not in the sense of like any type of magical warding or protection. They're just really fancy and really pretty, and it feels like something she wears when she's gonna go to like a night gala or um, yeah, something nice. Something you'll notice is when you're kind of inspecting it in the glass box, there's a little bit of parchment in there. If you wish to open it and try to take it, you can, or you can just leave it alone.
Mm, I think I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna
Okay.
move on
All right.
from
Anything
earrings and
else?
um what's on the other side of her?
So
On the
she's
other
kind
side of
of
the bed.
okay. On the other side of the bed, it basically be like the wall of the carriage. She does have like a simple, not like a tapestry, but like something akin to a tapestry, kind of hanging down there, giving you kind of like a seascape vibe. Uh, it looks like it's something that someone probably stitched together, working on it. It just kind of looks like it's an underwater kind of interpretation of probably coral, like a coral reef or something. Just something pretty, something that maybe reminds her of home. Uh, there's some pillows just to kind of make it comfortable, but not really anything on the other side of her because it would be kind of like propped up on one side or one edge or wall of the carriage, if that makes sense. Um, so Not
She's
much.
traveling, so she doesn't have. So here's what I'm gonna do. I want to take out the parchment and read it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a lock picking to open it. It's not a very difficult lock, but you never know.
Is it thieves' tools?
These tools, yes, sir. And you do get your gloves, so I know it's your insanely high rolls. Jesus. Yeah. Um, silent as ever. You look at it,
Oh
and
my god.
with a 39, you just kind of like you don't even know like you just kind of chuckle to yourself, like thinking like this is supposed to keep someone out, and just like with one finger, you're just like, just kind of playing with it, and you open it. The little parchment is folded up. It's very simple. It's um, it's a note, and it just says, um, always a pleasure when you're in town. And there's a seal, kind of like a stamped seal on it. Um, uh, what's your intelligence? I think it's fairly decent, right?
Mm,
Let me see. Yeah, 16. These
yeah.
were gifts. So she is, I would say, so you're able to kind of piece it together. She is a diplomat of trade and treasury.
Yeah, she's well liked.
She's well liked. So it looks like this was some sort of gift that she got from some sort of diplomat from some sort of thing, and she just holds on to them, makes her happy.
Mm-hmm.
And now, as you notice that, you kind of look and you kind of see as you're kind of looking, like at the desk. So it's like the desk, and it's kind of like those old school desks where kind of there's a backing to it and like a side paneling slightly, and then there's like a cabinets kind of above,
Like a
enough
hutch?
to kind of fit here. Yeah, like a hutch. Thank you. That's what it's called. So you can see, and you see that there's little trinkets and little knickknacks and little things, and there's just a whole bunch of little gifts and memorabilia and stuff that she's collected along the way. So you're able to understand she's a well-liked diplomat.
I'm gonna put the parchment back with earrings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put both back.
Okay. I mean, you're quiet as ever. You can give me
Yeah.
if you want. Yeah. So you put it back pretty much perfectly to how it was. No one is gonna expect anything was tampered with or touched. You even put the little lock back in there.
Mm-hmm.
Except you do it with the left hand this time, just to give yourself a little challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead for that. Go ahead and roll me. Just roll me a d20, Cielo. And then, and I'm not gonna look at roll 20. I'm gonna call low. So what did you roll? 5. Okay, cool. So as you're kind of, what are you doing now? Are you kind of put everything back in place? What's Cielo planning on doing?
Don't really know. Um, didn't really have a plan on stealing
Mm-hmm.
anything. Was kind of just up for hygiene.
Yeah.
Um, really wanted to see if she had anything of Fae
Mm. Okay.
or a Fae influence or
Those
something that mattered to him
fair.
in
Fair
her
point.
possession.
I will say that those earrings would then, because you got a 22 on the Arcana. Yeah. Sorry, I should have made that connection for you. Yes, they probably has some sort of. It's probably, if not crafted by someone from the Fae, crafted with Fae technique, if that makes sense. That's how they're able to capture the moonlight and make it so
Yeah, but
brilliant.
they're just fancy still.
They're
Even if they're
fancy.
Fae and fancy,
Yeah.
they're just
Just a,
and even if they're Fae influenced and they're like
mhm,
Fae crafted, they're
mhm.
still just fancy.
Yeah. I did want to point that out since you did specifically say you were looking for Fae. So yeah.
Yeah, and
uh,
there's Faye around still,
mhm.
and you're right on that. But she obviously likes it, and she's liked. She can
Gotcha.
have.
Gotcha.
I'm not that cruel of it.
No, you're not. That's fine. That's why I was just checking. So,
Honor among thieves.
sure.
She didn't
Anything
immediately
else?
kill me.
No.
I don't have to sleep among the trees, and this guard is sleeping so soundly, so I might just fall asleep right on the guard's legs, so I think I'm gonna do that.
All right. So yeah, as you kind of find your way to be kind of comfortable, the giant Grok Magok is just kind of like he's in a sitting position, like he's somewhat motionless, back up against a chest that's in here, just sitting. Normally he would be awake, but he's just
Mm-hmm.
and you just kind of find your way to get kind of comfortable. And other than
Oh, sorry.
yeah, yeah,
Um, can I do something
sure,
retroactively, incredibly, funnily, tastefully,
yes, yeah,
me and
Always.
stupid? Can
um,
I
yes,
write a Cielo calling card note and say, like, write a note and say nice earrings with a smile
yeah. Where are you gonna put it?
in the box?
Oh, in the same box. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You definitely have parchment for making charcoal rubbings and leaving notes and little breadcrumbs for your friends to follow and
And you're
pick up on.
you're relocking it.
Yeah,
Yes.
Nice.
absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah. So while you were reading that, you kind of give that smile and realize she's liked. You kind of say you leave a little. The Cielo was here calling card, nice earrings. And just kind of put it in there. Do you make it obvious, or do you kind of like line the parchment up with the other parchment so she would have to open it to notice it, or is it just how obvious do you want to
Slapped
make
on
that?
top.
um, not. She'll have to open it, but she'll
She'll have to
probably
open
open it. Yeah.
it. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so yeah, you do kind of like tuck it under the other one, so yeah, she'll notice it. Understood.
Yeah.
Done. All right. And then yeah, you close it with your left hand, lock it with your left pinky. Look at her as she's kind of uh, asleep, recovering, and then go over to Grok and just kind of find a little cozy spot next to him, probably on top of his leg, because his one leg is like is like twice as wide as you are, so you're nice and padded and cozy. Allow yourself to fall asleep for the evening.
Well, Ben will walk over and grab you, and be like, "There you are."
Looking everywhere for you.
we
The
need
higher
we need
stealth roll
talk.
you know, better I know you are. Uh, so yeah, you do manage to fall asleep for a while, and then at some point in the evening, we'll say towards the end of the night shifts, Ben does find you, Cielo, because he is uniquely capable of tracking you down. And yeah, we need to talk. Ben gathers Cielo. The Crass Menagerie are all awake. You guys gather behind, well, amongst the horses, like behind one of the carts. And yeah, go ahead and start doing what you guys need to talk about.
We've been gathered here today. Um, so when we were fighting those sprite things, they had a very strange just energy about them. Besides the exploding part, their origin. I It felt like the same stare as when we fought the Mad Titan. I think they share an origin with him. I think his power still looms around Green Hill. Aside from, it's not just floating rocks. I think it's still his innate powers around here. So we need to. I don't know. I just need help bouncing ideas off as to
If I
should we even
may,
go further? What do you expect? Yeah, yeah, please.
can I I think we should get Ofuma in on this. What do you guys think? I mean, I think we maybe should consider not going, right? Like we should consider either turning around or turning somewhere else. Or maybe if we can
I
reach
think
out
that would be
to,
wise.
or if we can reach out to, like Seb and some of the others that are at Green Posts and see if they know of anything that we need to be aware of, or if they've been safe around Green Hill, then maybe we can continue. But we definitely need to consider reconsidering at least.
Uh,
Mhm.
Q- Go ahead. I'm just waiting. I'm just
Oh,
looking at people's
so
character sheets.
yeah, so yeah, I'll go get Ofuma then, because I think
Yeah,
he
I'm
should
all
be
for
involved.
Fuma. He's good at keeping secrets and
I
planning
mean, we're
really
here
powerful magic
as
shit.
a job for him right now, right? Like, so
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
then yeah, he gets
Kara.
the boost.
Kara, you pick up on something. So wait, who has at least a passive 20 insight? I know Karos does. I think Ben does, but
Ben does. He's got 20.
Ben,
I think those are the only two
Kara.
wise boys.
Unless Rock, maybe? No, his wisdom's not very good. Never mind.
No, his is lower. Okay, so Karos, you'll pick this up while Al is kind of talking about it, and you know, you went through it. You've seen this. Ben is confused, and you pick up scared when you guys are mentioning this deity. He's like, "You fought?
Not,
What?"
Uh,
not the
I
Mad Titan
I felt in
itself.
danger.
Opposed, but not directly.
Right, right.
We think the hags were essentially working with his intentions in
You
mind.
say, but
We
you you
we definitely saw something.
True.
you see
Yeah.
Yes.
In the moon, I believe, right?
A tear in the
the
sky?
the tear in the sky.
The
Oh,
The
Terran
tear in the
sky,
sky.
yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Ben is
I'll get
speaking.
Ofuma.
Yeah, Ben is like legit speechless. He's like, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
Karos, you pick up that this is the first time you've actually seen Ben scared,
Shook.
scared,
Shook.
shook. You know, like he was tired and exhausted, and a little like not shook, but like he was fatigued, both emotionally, physically, and all that when he managed to pull the divine intervention. This has just been like scared, like oh fuck, because he knows this deity's reputation. I mean, most people on a basic thing know that this god, bad god,
Yeah.
this god, why? So I'm trying to remember what you guys saw. Like I know it was different for each of you, but it was basically a figure in a tear in the sky that looked like a humanoid, an unclothed humanoid, and then where the head was a swirling mass of what you interpreted as pure chaos.
That's right.
And everyone had like their own thing. Like it was just this vortex of swirling insanity and madness and chaos, and it was just I let you guys all interpret it how you saw it. Ow, Ziki. Ow.
I'll
Okay.
toddle over
Yeah.
to Ofuma.
All right. Let me say. Good morning. Is it?
Not quite.
Okay.
But
Is
after
there
that,
something wrong with the diplo? Or is Kendra been already okay?
as far as I know, I think everyone's just fine. The
Oh.
menagerie were
Okay.
discussing something and figured you should be part of this discussion.
Oh. Very well. Do I need to? Should we get everybody involved, or is
Not
this
yet.
just
Let's just keep it between us for now, and then we can decide.
chamber guard matters? Very well. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh.
Wait,
Well,
is it
what
chamber
do you have
guard
to
or council
say?
guard? I forget.
Council. Sorry,
Council.
council
Okay,
guard.
yeah,
Yeah.
I genuinely forget.
Yeah, every time I say chamber, I get mad at myself because you were council guards. I'm like,
Got it.
God
Got it.
damn.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, no,
yeah.
no, no. We wanted to run some things by you before we, set off.
Uh, very well. Like, give me a moment,
Sure,
and
sure,
he kind
sure.
of puts on, 'cause he didn't like dress all the way down, but he definitely dressed, to kind of be comfortable in his rest. So he kind of puts on a little, I don't know, something to kind of cover up his top.
His torso.
Hmm.
He
Make him
kind
seem
of,
decent.
yeah, his gray hair is kind of a little messy. Um, and he kind of follows you and sees you guys gathering by the steeds. Uh,
So
very
yeah,
well, Davis.
we picked up on something, and then I'll say this like as we're walking, but then with the idea of kind of just dovetailing it in as we go. But like, yeah, we picked up on some, I don't know, influences. Specifically, Al kind of noticed some stuff with those things last night. Like, we don't exactly know where they came from, but we kind of think we know the sorts of things that they are partied with, or companions of, or like in league with. I don't know. And then as we arrive, I'll be like, someone explain what we saw.
The little exploding guys, those sprite-looking things. Uh,
Strange creatures. I was
very,
unfamiliar that they would such something like that existed.
mm-hmm, very strange, crazy. I'd even go as far as saying mad, if you will. Um, they seem to have some association, from what I can tell, um, with the Mad Titan. Um, they're
The
familiar when I
the
locked eyes
failed
with them. Hmm.
the you've told me in the past the failed consuming ritual or
Well, interrupted at least. I think it was partially successful, right? I mean, we lost a lot of people.
yeah, well reports. Yeah. So you're saying his influence remains?
I'd say yes.
Possibly.
He does that thing where he kind of rubs his temple and it's like this it's too early in the morning slash headache for this. Like,
Yeah.
I was very hoping that this would just be a weak detour to allow them to express themselves and get away from the city. And now we put them in danger.
Well, we can make sure we don't put them in more danger if we don't go further, but we could also. Do you have any communications with? I mean, we can potentially reach out to like Seb and some of the others that are. I forget which one was it, Sarah or Hava that made it? Because I think one of them didn't.
They, I think they both
Did
made
they
it.
both make it?
Hava,
Okay.
let me check. I
Okay.
actually have them. They would be struck out if they didn't make it.
Okay.
Green Hill, Green Hill, Green Hill notes. Sarah Bella is alive. Hava Sod Klong is alive.
Okay. So yeah.
Rima didn't make it.
Oh,
One of the
okay.
other was
Mm.
Gotcha. Okay.
the half elf with the olive skin.
Gotcha. Uh, yeah. So like we could potentially reach out to them, and because they've been here rebuilding the area,
Eh,
they might know.
They would certainly be good sources of insight if they are living in such proximity, such close proximity to the ruins. Ah,
But
I
how
will.
bad would it be if we said this is too dangerous? We have to turn around.
It would put a little bit of discrediting to perhaps some of your stories, which I know is not true. No, in serious, haha. The and he kind of looks around. My position in the council and my loyalty to the Unveilers, which he says Unveilers very softly, actually did have me wishing to come down here and understand and explore the potential aftermaths of such a catastrophic event. Um, we have had some communications with Green Post, I believe it is now called, and we know that they do not necessarily venture into the ruins. So it is very likely that a lot of what has happened in the past months and possibly developed is unknown. However, we do know that the influence does travel down the River Sly, and thus they do have assistance in trying to, uh, let's say, track and contain any any surprises, any changes as the river flows. I was uh, I was hoping we would actually be able to make contact with someone down here, so I was actually kind of happy that they asked to come down. I did
Yeah.
not reveal this because it was not something that I felt that you needed to know.
I mean,
Apologies.
I think all of us here, and I'll like motion to just like the menagerie group in general, be like, I think we were all and are still pretty happy to keep going. I think it's like I wouldn't feel right asking Miss Berenia and Miss Keiko to go into something this dangerous. If it is indeed this dangerous. If this is the worst we face, then it's okay. But you know, we don't know what lies ahead.
Well, we
It's kind of first
certainly
contact.
we certainly do not know. Uh, we can hope that most of it is confined into the floating ruins and that area.
Yeah, maybe we give it a wide berth, and then after maybe we get them settled in at Green Post, we could do little excursions into the ruins or something. Who knows?
Green Post would be a bit of a travel. It is likely. I I may be able to convince them in such a way that they turn back, and I ask you to continue your duties here. The road was quiet. They have capable protection.
They got a big boy.
I'm, he is impressive, isn't he?
It's pretty fun.
And you, and then you hear this loud just from like
Okay, yeah,
3
impressive. You're
carts
right.
away. You know what I mean? Like you feel it kind of shake. The guy just stretching, and you can hear the carriage kind of creak under his weight as he's getting more comfortable. Um, no, I believe as hmm, as putting your council guard duties to the side and as doing a task as the Crass Menagerie on behalf of the Unveilers. I would like for you to remain. Help me to convince Lucas that it would be the correct course for them to return. They already saw the spectacle. They've seen the floating boats. I'm sure with me heading back with them, we can safely say they will return, allowing for Kendra and Berenia to recover, and I will have trusted contacts here, and I will tell you what all little information I have and who to look out for. Is this acceptable terms?
I'm
Take
sorry,
time if you need to digest.
guys. I love the idea personally, but it's up to everybody.
Certainly seems like the safest path forward. I couldn't bear have anything else to happen to them under our
I could
watch.
I will put this caveat. I could see that they would probably like to get a little closer, so a half day's travel at most. Allow them to see,
Sure, it's
be on
under.
high guard,
Yeah.
then have them turn back half day.
Yeah, I think the most important is let them know that we think things are. We're at least concerned with the what happened, not just because they were injured, but this is activity that I don't think any of us was expecting when we came down here. So to head
Certainly,
unknown into un, unexpected danger is, I mean, it is their choice, but just so no one can say we did not give them
Hmm.
warning.
yeah.
Agreed.
And uh, yeah, I sorry. I'm trying to think what he would say. I appreciate your eagerness to always assist. Know that the eyes of the unveilers see everything you do, and it is noted and appreciated. And it will come a time where we shall repay a debt.
Okay. If you say so.
Davis, I love the way you see the world. Never change, my friend.
Thanks.
He's being genuine.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say that he's putting forth a very genuine presence.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
Well,
Davis thought a lot of that was kind of cryptic, and it was just like, okay, sure, whatever.
well, very well. In the morning, in a few hours,
All right.
we will address our colleagues. We shall let them know what we recommend. I shall tell them that you had actually come down here on a secondary mission, and we will hopefully split ways.
After a half day.
Most likely after half day if I know them. I mean, it is a sight after all.
And we barely got to finish our story, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll get more
Just get
chances.
to the dragon.
I know.
Well,
Still mad about that.
I'm sure they will eagerly sit down and listen to the tale again. There are only so many dragon slayers in the world, and I am fortunate to call 6 of them my friends.
I didn't
And
kill
then
a
he looks
dragon
to
yet.
I was gonna
well,
say, well, it was it? And Davis is like doing math in his head as he thinks about like, was it 6?
Sej and
No, I know.
yeah, Sej and Dragon. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. Of course. Cielo, I'm sure if you stay with these friends of yours, you will likely take down a god someday. And he looks up to the sky and just says, "Kidding."
Oh.
I give Davis a look like, is he?
Oh yeah, no, Davis. When you look up to see Davis, he's like eyes are wide open, like maybe.
It's back.
Yeah. He's like, and he's just sometimes you just plant the seed. There you go. He smiles. You, I think as the more time you've spent over Fuma, he likes to
Gas you up.
play a little bit, gas you up. Yeah, yeah.
I like that.
He's good with
Well, thank
spinning the narrative a little bit. Well, um, thank you, Menagerie. I will, if you don't mind. This is a lot of news. However, I am still an old man. I believe I could probably squeeze in about another hour of sleep.
Sorry about that.
This was a excellent morning meeting, actually. It was working. Oh, disturbed. I
We,
shall make sure to see you in a few hours.
Mhm.
Mm.
no, we thank you for your help, but here's hoping we can convince him it's not to go too far. Thank you.
In case I forget to say this in the morning or in the day, if you do tread and if his madness is upon this region, do not feel that because of your reputation you need to face it head on.
Okay, no promises, but we'll remember.
I hope you do. I hope you do. And he heads on back to where he was resting. Okay. A couple hours will pass. I don't know if there's anything you guys wish to do. If not,
Did
about. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I know CJ's here, but Rock did have some stuff that he picked up. Was there anything to do with that?
If
The
he wants to, or he can do it later. That's fine.
yeah.
I currently have water like dripping out my ears. A weird feeling from my nose. Let's still coughing a lot. So talking's
Yeah.
an issue right now.
Yeah. Let's let
Okay.
Rock. You can listen. Take your medicines. Take it easy.
Okay.
And we'll just put a pin in the little mad shit
Yeah,
stuff.
I
Don't
just
worry.
I didn't know if there was any like time sensitivity to it or anything, so I just wanted to
There might be, but I don't want to force anything, right?
fair.
So, um, so about an hour passes by. You guys are free to do as you wish. Some of you wish to close your eyes again and rest, but those of you that stay awake, uh, you'll you'll notice that one of the wagons, the back opens up, the tarp flips up, and Leo begins to jump down, looks around, does some stretching, and begins to do like his morning routines. And then you'll see this little halfling begin to set up uh, an area, flat stone, and everything to be able to make food and breakfast and everything for people. Uh, Part of his responsibilities on the trip. So after a little while, you'll see a fire gets built up or gets re-propped up, gets proper, nice and big. One of the guards swings over to him, assisting him with getting whatever supplies he needs from the supply wagon, and a breakfast is produced of sourced eggs from the ranches up in Whitlaw, and some choice cuts of preserved meats, and just some bread. So not truly bacon and eggs and bread, but bacon, eggs, and bread. A good hearty meal for a day, and to help everybody recover from their ordeal. Uh, Unless if everyone has anything, then everybody will begin to start waking as it is time for the actual proper start of the day. The, the good salty um, preserved meats and the smell savory breakfast help everyone get up. The as there should be sun in the sky, it's a much darker day as there's just a setting, like slow rolling dark clouds with that aren't really raining a lot. They're not necessarily super dark, but kind of on that like more gray color, and they're just rolling by, blocking out a lot of the light. It's very overcast, but it also is kind of like it's overcast to the point where it does make it kind of like a darker day. Um, but people gather, people go and check on the two diplomats. Lucas says, "Well, good news is the ladies will be okay, thanks to everybody's efforts. That was unexpected. But Menagerie, uh, council guards to Ofuma, you certainly the your actions speak truer than your stories. Uh, so I believe every word that you have said must be true, and in fact, I am grateful that you have helped keep my friends safe. Uh, do
Who
not let it get to your head, though. The Cerulean Kingdom is in your debt.
who is this speaking? This is Lucas?
Lucas.
Ah, okay.
He's still a
Pleasure work.
diplomat, so he knows how to talk.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure working alongside you. I'll give him the salute.
Yeah, you, you, you're pretty good yourself, you know.
Well, I
Mhm.
used to not necessarily do what as much as you have, but my life was not always travel with
Oh,
meeting
we can
and
tell,
seeing things.
man. We know that. You've seen some stuff. We can tell. You hold up well.
Appreciate
You got a
it.
bit of a taste for it too. I could tell. It was fun.
It was very fun,
Mhm.
especially with whatever magics you are capable to do.
If he's looking at me when he says that at all, I'm just like shrugging.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and the complete opposite persona. He'll do like the dingly fingers, like the magic, just ding,
Oh,
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
some prestidigitate some like this faintest lights. Just oh, magic.
Well, well. Um, but again, uh, I personally am in your debt, and I certain once use of your actions gets within the entirety of uh my circles. The Cerulean Kingdoms will be in your debt. So, however, we need to discuss what the plans are for the remainder of this trip, as I am war council and head of security for my friends. I have some concerns moving forward. Spectacle is definitely something to see, but um, we potentially almost lost two of the most influential individuals in my entire kingdom.
And we
So,
saved them.
correct. And where have you been standing there the whole time? And he kind of looks
Oh,
back.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He does that.
I never know where he is
Mhm.
until I hear him speak.
I still jump every
I'm
time.
I'm always around. Or never around.
Honest, yes.
Both are equally the same.
And he'll look at you and say, both are equally terrifying.
Mhm.
Also, yes.
It is.
And yet also very calming since he's with us, right? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole I'm glad he's on our side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And he will, he will kind of get down because you are small compared to everybody here, so he'll kind of get down, not in a disrespectful way, but to say,
Look at the little guy. Why aren't you underwater?
runs, runs his hands
Terrifying
through.
little war asset.
Sneak attack.
No, but like he kind of gets down, kind of getting in respect, and says, "In all, you are. I mean this terrifying and amazing at the same time."
Here, here.
So I'm, and he kind of gets back up. Uh, we shall break camp in the next hour. He kind of gets on like more giving like barking orders now. We'll break camp in the next hour. We will make sure that Berenia and Kendra are comfortable and safe, and we shall make plans to. And he looks to you guys.
Uh, you know, Mr. Glassplate, Captain, Sir. I don't. Is there a Lucas? I don't know. What should I call you?
Technically, it's it would be Captain, but no need for formalities. Just Lucas works.
All right, Lucas. Yeah, make sure. Has Ofuma talked to you yet this morning?
And that is something that I'm sure we will have him And he sees Ofuma walking on by right now.
Yeah.
Ofuma, your council guards say you wish to speak? He says, yes. Concerns about moving forward with this detour. And Lucas smiles. I have concerns as well. And then you'll just kind of see them talking. I can roleplay it, but it's always weird talking to myself. So
Do it.
Nah,
Do
it's
it.
fine.
No.
do it.
Do it. Make sure you do the voices and get it right every time.
Yeah. So essentially, you'll get the exchange is that these two individuals come to the same agreement that
Yeah.
Lucas, from the standpoint of security and safety and military background, and Ofuma just also wants to make sure that everyone's there, is that they do go ahead and turn back. They did get to see the sites. They got to see the earth moats, the floating ruins. And Ofuma does manage, with some of y'all's help with interaction, to convince uh, the diplomats and the Cerulean guards that they can go back up the Mason Fair, that Ofuma will join them as he is amongst trusted friends. There's no concern about like assassination or something like that. And that the Crass Menagerie shall stay behind on behalf of, uh, not on behalf of their duties as chamber or council guards. I said it again, council guards, but actually as work as the Crass Menagerie to investigate and figure out what is actually happening here. So, because everybody was on the same page, it is relatively easy to do.
Yay.
And you do, you are able to break from the group. You are able to take off your council guard tabards if you wish. And with that, we'll go ahead and take a break.